This morning, so I was dreading having no material when I came up here, and then this morning I got robbed. Thank God I got robbed today. Oh my God, thank God I got robbed today. I was at a coffee shop. Between therapy and work, I have like a stupid amount of time. Oh my God, therapy! Ha! She's crazy. Between therapy and work, I have this dumb amount of time because I live in Brooklyn because I'm white and 25, and I like can't go back home, but it's like stupid to go to work 3 hours early, so I just like fuck around in a coffee shop, and it's actually my favorite time of the week. I like watch a movie or I read a book, and it's like me time, and I drink a little iced tea, and so I'm in the coffee shop having my little road time, and someone tapped me on the shoulder, and I was watching videos of my baby nephew. He's 8 now. He used to be so nice before he could speak English. And so I was watching, his mom was sending me like video after video, little baby Owen before he could talk, so sweet, and I have my noise canceling headphones on. Someone taps me on the shoulder and is like, hey, can you move your backpack? And I was like, sure. So I like bend over to move my backpack. It has already been moved. So I was like, sorry, what did you say? And she goes, did you have a backpack? And I was like, yes, I did. And she goes, oh, some guy just took it and ran outside. Oh. I was like, what the fuck? So I run outside and I look both ways and I see like 10, 12 people, not a very busy street. And none of them is holding or wearing my backpack at all. So I'm like, I don't know, like it would be fruitless to like just run down the street chasing no one. So I turn around, go back in the restaurant, and I see 30 New Yorkers have mobilized. This whole coffee shop is like, we're gonna crack this case. And it's like right by Pace and Fight Eye, so everyone is doing exactly like their role that you think they would be doing. Like we got PACE students and baristas that are like, we hate the cops, but also who else did we call right now? And then we got like finance bros that are like, we are guards. We will case this joint, we are the police. And like we will stand in front of the door. And the college kids, like one of them came to check on me and like see if I was okay after having my backpack stolen and not noticing at all. And then one of the finance bros is like, there he is! The barista flings himself over the bar, runs out the front door. I'm right behind him. We're like sprinting down the street. What adds insult to injury, you guys? I know we just met, but I have a favorite color. It's teal. The guy wearing my backpack is wearing a teal sweatsuit, head to toe. My coworkers can tell you this is my uniform. Like, you cannot steal my backpack and steal my look. Teal sweatsuit, and he's sauntering is the only verb that applies here. He is positively sauntering just down the sidewalk like this in my fucking backpack. And the barista, who, like, important detail, is very English. He's like, you motherfucker, I'm gonna take your eyes out, man. You gotta give your backpack back. He's like, I guess I'm Aussie now, but absolutely screaming at this guy. And the guy just stops at the crosswalk. The barista takes my backpack off of him. He does not protest at all. Puts the backpack back on me. And then he's like, next time I see you, I'm gonna fucking take your eyes out, mate. And then we walk back down the street to the coffee shop. 30 people have come out of the coffee shop and are standing on the sidewalk, watching us come back. I point at my backpack and they all go, yeah! Like, it was like everyone stood up and cheered, like in a meme, but they did that. That happened to me today. And then, exactly that. And then I went back and I sat down, and then everyone independently like came up and checked on me, which was very cute. And I was like, I cannot emphasize enough that I missed it. Like, my backpack was stolen, and before I processed what was happening, I was sitting back down and holding it. Like, it was absolutely insane. I blinked, backpack was gone, and then it was back. So that is my set, and it was ready-made for me. Isn't that insane? And nothing was taken. I got a set and my backpack back. Kick ass, right? Alrighty, we have a great show for you guys. We have a whole lineup of excellent geniuses, and they're all back there, and I was talking to them, and they're fantastic and funny, and you're gonna have a great night. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a great night? Awesome! Okay, up next we have Shawn Kinnear.
Woo! Thank you guys. Give it up for your hosts. Give it up for yourselves for coming out in the rain, supporting comedy. Guys, so a little bit about me. I am a proud, full-blooded, third-generation, anxious American. All right, social on my mom's side, generalized on my father's side. And I like my culture, you know, it's got its pros. Everyone in my generation's stressed about pronouns and shit. Mine are very simple, stress, stressed. I got to New York, they're like, how do you identify? I'm like, fucking nervous, leave me alone. We got a culture, we have traditions, like when it's time to teach a child how to swim, come up behind them, shove them in the pool, watch them freak out, save them, repeat for about 6 months until the child learns how to swim. But this is incidental. The generational knowledge that we're given underneath is, hey, don't ever fucking trust anybody. And a little PSA on behalf of my people while I have you guys. Some of you might be here tonight. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to the rest of you, but you cannot just come up to us and be like, hey, I gotta talk to you about something later. And leave it at that. All right, you open up Pandora's box for us. My girlfriend says that to me. I'm going over my likes and dislikes. Which new dating app are we going to try this time around, right? My landlord texts that to me. I'm immediately on apartments.com. That's a lie. I'm more in the Craigslist tax bracket. But if I'm at work and my boss is like, Shawn, I got to see you in my office later. Not only am I updating my resume, I am building a narrative behind it, and it is defensive. I don't fucking need this job. Anyway, the commute sucks, Ben's annoying. This is the kick in the pants that I need to really get that project I keep talking about off the ground, you know? Going to his office, full of vigor, ready to start a new chapter. He's like, Shawn, can you work on Thursday? And I can't. But I say yes anyway, because I'm a people pleaser. No, I'm a catastrophizer. That's what I do. I take small things and let them snowball into really big deals. Like, perfect example, if I'm out and about during the day and I get a stain on my shirt, before I can even clean it off, what if today was the day I was supposed to be my soulmate? Now I look like a slob. That cute little interaction at the bank is not going to go the way that it was supposed to. Snowball, butterfly effect, single at 60. Guys, I'm not going to have grandkids over this honey mustard, all right? You understand? It's a big deal. Therapist is like, Shawn, you write these down and bring them into me. So I will share with you a real one that I brought to her 2 years ago. It's in my house, and I noticed a little bit of glitter on my face. And instead of going, I went, Jesus fucking Christ. I haven't been around glitter today. What if my girlfriend had seen this glitter? I don't have any excuse for this glitter. And if it happened once, that means it can happen again. Do I need to get my keys, go down to the store, buy some glitter, take it home, open it up, and keep it in a drawer so I have alibi glitter on hand at all times, ready to go? It's like, babe, there's a little bit, it's in the drawer next to my keys where it's always been. Don't be so paranoid. As I am saying this to my therapist, I feel like I am on Shark Tank pitching alibi glitter as a must-have product for every married man in the country. Therapist like, Shawn, slow down. Did you ever consider the more likely possibility that the glitter came from the girlfriend in the first place? And I'm like, no, Sharon, I didn't, because I don't have the girlfriend yet. I am manifesting like you told me to do in our last session. She's on the vision board. There's lots of ways to deal with anxiety, but being a full-blooded anxious American, there's addiction in my family, so I'm really nervous about getting addicted to anxiety medication. All right, it's too nerve-wracking for me, can't do it. My friend's got an emotional support animal. She's like, Shawn, you love animals? Why don't you give that a try? And don't get me wrong, I do love animals, but I would need something a lot stronger. And hear me out on this, guys. I need an emotional support Southern lady. All right? Just a little old Southern woman. Get her totally certified so I could strap a vest on her, you know, take her to the airport and the grocery store with me. Just have her follow me around all day. She's like, come on, Sugar, you got this. Don't you worry your head about that numb, pumpkin. Because I don't know if you've ever had a woman from Alabama refer to you as a pecan pie in the first person. But you hear that first thing in the morning, you're good well past lunch. One of those ladies with a good attitude is worth 3 golden retrievers easy. We gotta be funding it. My aunt's got religion. She's like, Shawn, I wake up every morning, I give my life over to God, and I let Jesus get the wheel. I'm not anxious. I'm like, first of all, that man's blood was straight red wine. You shouldn't be letting him anywhere near your wheel, all right? I get that he died for my sins and all that jazz, but I'm not ready to get my license suspended over it, all right? Guy wasn't nailed to the cross, he was hammered to it. That always hits the nail on the head with somebody. And those 3 little giggles are my holy trinity. On the other side of that, though, you got spirituality, which nowadays, to me, I consider myself spiritual, but it looks like a lot of girls that won't date a guy because he was born in the second half of a month that doesn't align with her rising chakra moon spirit chart. But that's not entirely fair, because I lived in Boulder, Colorado for a few years, and I heard a grown man say to his friends in a bar, completely serious, bro, I would never. She's a Sagittarius. I think we can all be clear that no guy has ever just straight up not because she was a Sagittarius, okay? No guy has gotten a booty call at 3 in the morning and been like, but she's a Leo and I have to protect my energy. It's never happened. Guys, my friends get anxious too, I realize it, but they get anxious about different things. They're like, the government's tracking us, they're listening to our phone conversations, and I'm like, if you're my friend, you're not high enough on the social totem pole to be on the government's radar in any capacity, okay? If I got you something for your birthday last year, you're not on a list anywhere. Thinking the government's interested in your life used to be called paranoid schizophrenia, marked by delusions of grandeur. Now if you blog about it, you're just considered woke. It gets at me. It does. You're not that important. Maybe that's just my self-deprecation, who knows. Either way, I don't know, I worry about everything, guys. Anybody here ever get worried that they might be acting like a sociopath a little bit? No, nobody? Wow, spoken like a room full of true fucking sociopaths, guys. You know who doesn't worry about if they're acting like a sociopath?
I'm a sociopath.
Hey, thank you. If anybody wanted to make some noise but felt too afraid, you are healthy for thinking that. Jesus Christ. Guys, I've been talking about, mental health a lot, but you gotta take care of your physical health too. All right? I say this because I'm an organ donor, in theory. I say in theory because the paperwork is all certainly filled out, but unfortunately, if I kick the bucket tomorrow, I'm pretty sure they're gonna look at what I've done to this and be like, it was a nice thought, but what did he really expect us to do? So to that end, I'm trying to take better care of my organs, Doing everything you can think of. I'm even talking to them the same way you might speak to somebody in a coma to keep them awake and alert. And I've named them after the Beatles. My brain is George, interesting, kind, sorely missed. My kidneys are Paul and McCartney, because despite years of tragedy, they're still putting out some consistently good work. My appendix is Ringo, because while it is nice that it's still around, I'm not going to be too upset when it has to go. And my liver is Lennon, because that fucker's been shot for years. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys. Give up your hosts.
Hello, I'm back. Oh no. I don't know what it says about me that he said I need an emotional support Southern woman, and I heard emotional support submarine, and I thought, sounds good. I do too. Makes total sense to me. I do need an emotional support little tiny tin room that I can lay in under the sea. Look. It makes sense to me, and I'm not going to say any more on that. Up next, we've got Natalie G! Woo!
Guys, one more time for your lovely host, Ro. It's fantastic. Oh, yes. Guys, it's my first time here. This place is fucking amazing. Shout out to the venue, Soho Playhouse. Beautiful venue. I love it. Thank you for coming out tonight on this really cold and disgusting night. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was ready and I wasn't ready. Because the coats were out, I wasn't ready to put them on yet, I was like, is it gonna be 70 tomorrow or is it gonna be 40? That's how we're looking at it. I just told my boyfriend, I looked at him, I go, global warming. He goes, it's just weather. I was like, yes, it's weather that is now fucked. Like, we are fucked now. It's all right. Yeah, I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for 3 years now. Any relationships in the room? Anyone dating? Yeah. Yeah, very good, very kind. Yes, check, yes. Table for two, please. That's you. How long you been dating? I don't know where the voice came from.
I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years.
7 years, beautiful. Oh, good long relationship. That's nice. You still talk to each other and like each other and all that stuff? Beautiful. That's good. Anyone else? Can you beat that? Can you beat 7? No, we're all single and desperate and dying. That's what's happening in the room.
You can beat 7.
We're 31.
There it is. There it
35, but
is.
who's counting?
Okay. See. Something happened in the first 4 that you're not agreeing with to this day.
I wasn't there for those.
Hey, listen though, once you hit past 25, it's all just water under the bridge, right? Not for you, apparently. You're holding that forever. You're like, every day, another year, she fucking doesn't know. She's just, whatever. We're not on the same page. Are there any arguments you guys still hold? Well, I'm asking this question, you already answered it. But are there any arguments you guys hold on to for a long time? So my boyfriend and I fight a lot, but like, I was like, is this the hill I'm gonna die on? Like, I'm just choosing the argument that we're gonna have forever. Is there anything you guys fight about that you're like, we've been doing this for too long?
Are you asking us?
Yeah.
Well, listen, when you get our age, you just fight about the temperature.
There it is. That's probably why you guys don't agree on the timeline, because she was ready to go and you were not sure about the question. You guys just have to rehearse that a little bit more. But that's fair. That's fair. Agree at that temperature. That's our argument from this morning. 100%. Yeah. This is the global warming and just the number, or the Celsius and the Fahrenheit. Who knows? Who knows what it is? Yeah. I like being in a relationship though. I do. I don't mind it. As long as I'm not on the apps, I'm okay with it. What I hear, it's fucking the war. Anyone on the apps, I feel like you should get more for that. Applause for if you're on the apps. No, you guys are just riding life alone. Just walking the road of life by yourself. You're like, I don't even talk to my family anymore. I volunteered for witness protection. Jesus, wow. This is incredible. This is a weird group. And I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I really do. I'm in my 30s. I'm 35. And I usually, when I tell people that, some people get a little surprised because I know I look way younger for my age. People think I'm like in my mid-20s or whatever. And I really think I'm like, I missed a calling, you know? I should have been on To Catch a Predator from like years ago. Because people think, they're like, oh, you think you look like you're still in school. And I'm like, I should have been fucking catching criminals, pedophiles this whole time. I could have just been doing it, you know? Because I'm unemployed right now. I'm not looking for a job. I'm just unemployed, actually. I gave up on the job search. Anyone looking for a job right now? Gainful employed, single, happy, alone. This is a crazy group that doesn't exist anywhere else in New York. You guys all just found each other. Could we find love tonight? No, it doesn't matter. Love is a myth. Yeah, I'm unemployed. The process to applying for a job is strange. It really is, because it's just, they send you, the first thing people tell you when you tell them that you're unemployed, they go apply for the benefits, and then they tell you very close, they go in, they go, you can do it online now. And I have to go, I'm sure it's 2024. We can do everything online. I could steal identities online. Like, I could literally do anything. I could become a criminal without leaving my couch, you know, including finding a job. I applied online and did the little thing, and they sent me a letter, which seems appropriate from the government. I was like, you're not going to respond to do it online. You're not going to send me an email. You will send me a letter, and it will take 3 weeks to arrive, of course. I had to call a number. We're going deeper into like the analog. They're like, you have to call us. There's a problem with your claim, with your whatever, your form. So I had to call, and I called the number, kept ringing forever. And I just realized, I was like, this number isn't really for anyone to pick up the phone on the other end. It's just kind of a reminder you fucked up. This is just a ringing reminder that you suck. That's what that is. You're by yourself. You know? I had to Google, I figured out where to find the number. I Googled it, which means, you know, just looking up in the internet, but specifically, do you want to know where I found that number to actually talk to a human being? I found it on Reddit. This is just people helping out people. I was like, Reddit should be sponsoring the government right now. This is where it should go. Found the number, I talked to a person, I called online, I called the number, and what I think is the most sad human being picked up the phone I've ever heard. You know, he picked up the phone and he goes, hello. This is how it started. I was like, are you okay? I didn't even ask my question yet. I was like, are you good? Before we continue. Like, dude, we need to turn this into a wellness check? Like, everything. I don't even know this man. Whatever, I tell him my question, whatever, he connects me. Finally get to somebody, and I finally get it done, you know? But like everything else, it took 17 tries and a depressed man to help me out. So, sounds right. Yeah, so it's, you know, I've had my benefits for a while. They're about to run out. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm just doing what every New Yorker does and just like patches together a bunch of part-time jobs and goes, this is a thing. This is income, right? I'm like, how much change do I have in my pocket? That's what I have to tell the IRS. Like, I have 50 cents. What can you do with that, you know? I was telling my mom that the other day. I was telling her on the phone that I was a little stressed out that, that I don't have a job, I'm unemployed, benefits are running out. Telling her this on the phone. I'm like, yeah, but I have a bunch of part-time jobs. And I was like looking for some support from her. Do you ever like ask for support from your parents and then they respond to you in the wildest way? So I asked her, I was like, yeah, Mom, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel, you know? And it was a perfect time for her to be like, yes, there is, Natalie, good for you. And instead she just went, you go, girl. And I was like, that's it? You don't have anything else for me? What am I, on a sitcom? Like, what's going on right now? I was like, are you my mother? We know each other. You know that, Mom, right? You're not just yelling it down the street like, you go, girl, walk in those heels. Like, no, I'm your daughter. We are related. Whatever. I don't think she should be giving, like, support to other people, you know? She's just full of, like, common phrases like that, you know? She's just full of them. I'll leave you guys with something else. Anybody have student loans here?
Yeah.
Student loans? Couple, 2 claps, 2 sad claps. That's about right for student loans. I think about mine. I'm not paying them, but I think about them. I do. I think about them a lot. And I hope they're doing good, because I'm not looking, I'm not checking. You guys have been a fantastic crowd. My name is Natalie. Do you guys give it up for the rest of the comics tonight? Thank you so much.
You know that nephew I mentioned earlier who used to be cute, but now can speak? I thought that would get a laugh, whatever. I still love him, you guys. He recently got hacked. That's right, my 8-year-old nephew got hacked. Kids these days. He has a Google Suite account for 3rd grade. For 3rd grade. He has a Google Suite account. And the 3rd graders now, instead of just regular bullying, are hacking each other. Whoa. And one of his table mates got his lunchtime password, his what? I don't know either. And logged into his Google Suite and deleted his homework. And then his teacher was like, hey, Owen, his real name, but you can't find him, every 8-year-old's name is Owen. And they were, it's his name, Owen. It is though. His teacher was like, Owen, why did you delete your homework? And he was like, why would I do that? That's just effing myself. Also his real words. And then he was like, well, what was the timestamp? And she was like, it was at 6:30. He was like, I was in the shower. And then we did check, and he was indeed in the shower at 6:30 the previous night. And so we were like, who could have done this?
Art form that takes years of dedication and discipline to master. The other is improv comedy. Yeah. I was talking to a dear friend of mine who's non-binary. Art, I feel like that deserves a standing ovation. Anywho, I was talking to a dear friend who's non-binary, and they were telling me how hurtful it is to be misgendered, which I could sympathize with, but I couldn't deep down empathize with it until they asked me how my little improv gig was going. Then I got the gist. As for my friendship with this person, well, I'm no longer friends with her. Nice. Sick. But I'm in college right now, pursuing my academic prowess. And my college career hasn't been exactly linear. So for 2 years, I went to school in California. I went to a school called Occidental College. Fun fact about that school, Barack Obama went there for 2 years during his bisexual era. Yeah, another fun fact about the school is its nickname is Oxy. Yeah, for the 2 years I was at this school, I was searching like a drug-sniffing dog to find this so-called Oxy. No Oxy. But if you think about it, it's probably the peak pinnacle of an oxymoron. Now I go to Pace University down on Wall Street. And I'm a communications major minoring in pharmaceutical administration and stand-up comedy. When I say I minor in pharmaceutical administration and stand-up comedy, I mean I self-administrate ketamine to myself on a weekly basis. Doing stand-up comedy right now when I should be studying for midterms. Yeah, it's just real tough getting your ducks in a row when you're a silly goose like me. Yeah, but I've been doing a lot of stupid stuff. Like I recently got lured into going to a strip club for the first time in my life. No. No, quite a harrowing experience actually. Yeah. No, I learned two things about strip club. First thing I learned is there's something quite off-putting about being in a room full of horny men. Yeah, just real ditty party-esque. The second thing I learned is strippers become a lot less interested in what you have to say after you ask them if they take Venmo or Zelle. Yeah, they were hating that, and I thought I was being courteous, you know, it's like a contactless transaction, but they did not like it. Yeah, and like as the night went on, like I became like the Venmo and Zelle guy. Like strippers would come up to me and they'd be like, "Please don't be the Venmo and Zelle guy." I was like, "I'm that guy. I should probably leave." Yeah. But yeah, I should probably address this, my white-sounding voice. Yeah, my parents were quite shocked when my first word was ask instead of axe. Threw everybody for a loop. But yeah, oftentimes after shows and stuff, people come up to me and they're like, "Man, you have such a good voice. You should do voice acting." Which is like a nice compliment, you know? But I also wish they were like, "Man, you're so funny. You should keep doing comedy." It's real difficult. But you can't be too picky, right? A compliment's a compliment. Or as my grandfather says, you can only fuck so many whores. Yeah, what a sick and twisted man he is. Yeah, dude, but I like being in New York a lot, but I don't know exactly what sort of vibe I give off when I'm walking the streets of New York. But it seems to be the sort of vibe of somebody who has a couple minutes to talk about climate change. Yeah, dude, these climate people, they won't stop trying to talk to me. Like the same way underage girls get catcalled by construction workers, my catcallers are the climate people. Like never makes me feel good when they're trying to recruit me, it just makes me feel like a wimp. Right, because at least if like a gang was trying to recruit me, I'd be like, dang, they think I want to do illegal stuff. But at least they think I can hit licks, flip bricks, and not snitch, right? Or if like the army was trying to recruit me, I'd be like, dang, they think I have a .2 GPA. At least they think I can whip a tank and wield a machine gun. Sick. Even in the unlikely event that I found myself in Bangkok, Thailand, and a prostitute was like, ooh, sucky, sucky. I'd be like, dang, she thinks I don't know about the ladyboys. But if it wasn't for that bulging Adam's apple, you would have fooled me. Got my socks on too, so it's not gay. Yeah, but whenever the climate people try to recruit me, I'm just like, dang, they think I love bird watching and never touch a tit. Granted, I do like bird watching. Yeah, favorite bird, tufted titmouse. Yeah, and if it's a blackbird, it's like. All right, that kills in Harlem, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, man, but yeah, weed's been legal for a hot sec. You guys smoke weed? Yeah. Nice, nice. Nice, sick. Very alert. Yeah, well, I know I fit the description of one that would take a keen liking to of the consumption of marijuana. But contrary to popular belief, I don't smoke weed. Yeah, like makes me anxious, turns my brain into like a scary amusement park. Yeah, whenever I smoke weed, it kind of makes me feel how I feel right now. Everybody's staring at me and hates my guts. But at least I'm doing better than my friend Keith. We call him Ketamine Keith because of his severe ketamine addiction. Yeah, funny enough, he can also predict the weather, so it seems like he has a nose for things. I'll leave you guys on this. I'm real happy they're using ketamine for therapeutic practice now, because it makes me feel a lot less bad when I'm trying to get my nose on some ketamine. Right, because at first I'd go to parties, I'd be like, excuse me, is there any ketamine here perhaps? People would be like, ah, look at this guy, what a fiend, he wants horse tranquilizer. But now I go to parties, I'm like, yo, where's the ketamine? And people are like, yo, look at this guy, just real on top of his mental health. It's great, just destigmatizing the stigma one step at a time. Perfect. All right, my name's Calder Stokes. Thank you very much. Give it up for your host. Have a good one.
Every time someone says give it up for your host, I just want to let you know how close I am to giving it up already. You do not need to give it up for me. I am precipitously close to the edge. Don't give it up. I've been told that I should take ketamine by people who have met me one time. Just don't give it up for me. I'm good. I'm in therapy. I said I'm in therapy on Fridays. I'm in therapy Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays. That is not a joke. That is my schedule. Up next, you might know him for making you a pretty good Cosmo given the present circumstances. It's Matt Tanzosh.
I had Rose say, given the circumstances, because this is a theater bar, and I feel like that confuses some people. Like, I think, because people that come to a theater bar, they have no expectation for what kind of bar we are. Some people come into the space and they're like, you guys don't have beer, do you? And I'm like, no, the most popular thing ordered at bars? Yeah, I've got some of that. But then other people come in and they're like, can I get like a passion fruit mojito? And it's like, I don't know what part of this operation says to you, I'm taking the mortar and pestle out for you. That's not what's happening. We need that space for wigs. You know what I mean? It's a theater. But people do, you have to learn, because it's a cool job though, because being a theater bartender, it's like bartending 12 different bars throughout a week, right? Because every show has its own clientele. I've bartended, gay shows, magic shows. I've bartended shows where the audience is, almost entirely people that Zack Slaff has been bar mitzvahed by. People that have kissed him on the forehead as a babe. All sorts of different shows. And you have to learn really quick what kind of audience, what kind of customer those audiences are going to be. And people will tell you immediately walking into the bar what kind of customer they are by like what questions they ask. And theaters have like the richest of the rich, the poorest of the poor. Everybody's coming to do something here. Broke people, people come in and they go, hey, can I charge my phone and my vape? You're like, yeah, you're a comic, that's cool. But then other people come in and they'll ask questions that they're going to be trouble. They'll come in and they're like, hey, what flavor margaritas you got? Which, look, everyone has different experiences in their life, different schema, things that they... But that tells me that your drinking experience isn't, drinking at bars, it's getting kicked out of Chili's. Do you know what flavor margaritas you got? Bartending's weird though, because people tell you things, bartending, that I wouldn't admit under an NDA. Do you know what I mean? You know that we don't have to keep your secrets, right? You guys know that. People tell me things, and I'm like, well, I guess that's just gonna live with me forever. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about a bar being between us that makes people be like, hey, can I give you a list of my felonies? Perhaps some morally dubious sexual experiences that I've had? And it's like, yeah, if you want, like, the only time that I don't immediately tell my other coworkers the horrible thing you've told me is if that coworker is gonna judge me worse for not killing you immediately. Do you know what I mean? You're like, that guy said that to you and you let him leave? And you're like, yeah, that's my bad. Choosing non-action is as bad as choosing violence, right? That's my bad, that's my mistake. What's weird is like the bartender, I don't know if it's in my face, that follows me even outside of the bar. Like people just say stuff to me sometimes. And I don't know why that is. I was outside, give it up for Calder, he was great. But he said, or don't, that's fine. But Calder was talking about, too little too late, Zack's family. Calder's feelings are already made clear. No, he was talking about weed being legal, and the one thing that I do really appreciate about that is that I used to smoke cigarettes, and I quit, and I missed the opportunity to be assaulted by psychopaths for 5 minutes a couple times a day. That's great. I was smoking a joint outside, and a guy comes up to me and says, apropos of nothing, females, am I right? Probably not. I didn't stick around and wait. I don't know what he said about females. Here's the thing. If you write jokes about terrible things, they stay true forever. Because that happened years ago, right? But then recently, I was standing outside of a different restaurant. I was about to go inside. I was smoking, and a guy came up to me, and he was on the phone having like an end of relationship style fight on the phone, just freaking out, screaming. And then he was so angry that I felt like he closed his phone still, even though it was an iPhone. Do you know what I mean? He was like, ah! And he turned to me and he went, women are just, oh! You know? And here's the thing, I think of myself as a progressive dude. I like to stand up for women, but he didn't make an argument. He made a sound. I didn't know how to fight that. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey buddy, women aren't, women are, you know? Different sound, we can talk about it later. I don't know what the right sound to make. We got a lot of Bible fans here. Anyone here a huge fan of the Bible? No? Does anyone have a favorite Bible verse? No? My favorite, I'll tell you mine. I'll educate you guys. I know my favorite is Matthew 12:36, right? Because it says, for every unkind or thoughtless word that is uttered, it'll be repeated back to you on Judgment Day at the gates of St. Peter. And none of you were laughing, and that's okay. But that's because you don't understand how funny that is. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've never said a kind or thoughtful word my entire adult life. And now I have to watch an angel with a clipboard rolling out the door past the gates try to do a grim paraphrase of my act. That's pretty funny, guys. That's pretty good. Hey, did you at 9:30 in front of most of Zack's family say, you guys ever think about how if your urethra were 3 feet wide by 4 feet long, it would take half a second to pee, but it would come out in one long rectangular sheet? Just go, right? You guys ever think, you said that to those people, and they laughed? And it's like, some of them laughed, yeah. He was like, is that all you do? You just do weird body horror stuff? And it's like, no, I tell real jokes. I do crowd work. I say things like, y'all fucking? Any of y'all ever be fucking? And the fucking is so good that right after the fucking is over, you pass out on top of each other in a fuck coma, and then, but you realize that in your fuck coma, in your stupor, you've forgotten to take your condom off, so it just fuses to your partner's belly meat. And so when you wake up hours later, you're stuck together like two vinyl bath mats, and when you finally separate, it sounds like a flesh xylophone. You know, right? You know, like those Betty Boop cartoons where it's a skeleton playing xylophone in his ribcage, except if his ribcage were made of hot dogs. That ever happened to you guys? And the angel goes, and people laughed at that, and I go, fewer people laughed at that. Angel's like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of value here. And I'm like, no, I talk about important things. I talk about love, I talk about romance. I'm the one who was with his partner for 7 years. Yeah, no need to applaud that. There's a 31-year-old relationship in here. That's fine.
35.
Good night. But I think people, a lot of that may not be impressive for you, but for a lot of people in my age bracket, that's a long time to have spent together, and people will be like, you know, how did you do it? And I think that the key thing is that we are equally mentally ill. But this is the important caveat, with separate mental illnesses, right? That way we can like alternate who's melting down. Do you know what I mean? We can flip a coin. It's great. I have ADHD and she has PTSD, which means that I can't seem to remember and she can never forget. It works. It totally works out. She can't stay mad at me too long. It's great. I don't know. It is weird working at a theater because you see all sorts of, you know, and so anyway, the angel probably has something to say about that, I guess. I don't know what he thought about that one, but he's like, no, I don't like that one. Tell me another one. This is the framing device I've created. And I go, the thing I do notice working here is that a lot of younger comics, they'll talk about 9/11 like really flippantly, like really casually, because it's like to them it's like Pearl Harbor, you know, or something. It's like but 9/11 like happened. Pearl Harbor also happened, but 9/11 happened to me. 9/11 happened to all of us. Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy because I don't want to bring the show down or anything like that, but I do want to take a second to just acknowledge, you know, when I was 7 years old, I looked out my window. And I saw the two towers fall, and with them, you know, all sense of American hegemony, of our place in the world, of our sense of safety. And I still only got 1 day off from school. Isn't that crazy? I looked out my window as a 7-year-old, and I saw two towers fall, and each of them get us into two separate and distinct wars. And I only got the same amount of time off as if it had snowed a little bit. I was in class on 9/11 happened on Tuesday. By Thursday, I was doing fractions again. That's not. And it did snow a little bit. It just snowed the ashes of my parents' friends. People are mixed on that one. I said to the angel. I don't know. I'll get up. It's tough. I feel like there's so much needless, you know, cruelty sometimes in the world. Like it's, you know, look at someone like Donald Trump, right? Like Donald Trump has $6 billion allegedly, right? why I like that I get to do my Donald Trump stuff again. It's great. If you write about bad things, they're always relevant. But Donald Trump has $6 million. Why does he want a job? Let alone the jobbest job of all time. Do you know what I mean? Donald Trump, if he really had $6 million, why wouldn't he just buy an island with his daughter and populate it? I like when I do that joke because someone always goes like, like it's like a schoolyard day. It's like, oh, we have like Ivanka fans in the crowd. She's so strong. It's like, she is strong. Her dad is really heavy. And the angel was like, did they like that one? And I was like, I think that we can end on that one. That's good. All right, thank you guys. Good night.
Matt and I just fully collided. I need everyone to know that I've texted Owen's mom my entire set, and she said, good, he deserved that. So, just so we're clear, no one likes that Owen is talking. And no one likes that I'm harping on this, but I'm gonna keep going. Someone earlier was talking about like the longest standing relationship fights that people have had. Does anyone have like the longest standing fight with their parent or their child? Like a really like ongoing beef that you've got with your kid or your parent? Anyone? No one at all. Cool. Me and my mom have been feuding. I'm 25 years old. For 21 years, she and my father and my sister, no one told me about Jonestown. And look, I'm not saying it's like their sole responsibility, but someone should have told me. Why was this a pandemic discovery for me? Because Matt and I are 5 years apart. He was in second grade for 9/11. It's my first memory ever. I was 2. My first memory ever. 3,000 people died. Jonestown, 900 people died. We should be talking about it a third of as much. I fucked up my words there, but my point stands. We should be talking about it a third of as much of the time. My mom was 11 years old. She remembers. Why are we not talking about, like, Pearl Harbor was a very long time ago. Jonestown was a medium amount of time ago. Why are we not talking? That was insane! That was crazy. And also, it was on November 18th, 1978, so that was just a few days ago. And also many years ago. But anniversary-wise, it's on the mind. And every time 9/11 comes up in the last 4 years that I've known about Jonestown, I have to bring up Jonestown. Just so that we all remember, never forget that happened. Okay. You guys might know our next comic from knowing him for the last 27 years. His name is Zack Slaff. Give it up!
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Wow. Well, we made it, guys. Look at this. Thank you. Please give it up for your lovely comics, for everyone who's doing this stuff. You did such a lovely job. And Ro, our lovely host, who's in the city, and Matt, our bartender, and everything else. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of that. Guys, we're here, we made it. I'm so excited. Last night, actually, I was at another show. I was at a show at the Liberty Science Center. I was performing comedy at the Liberty Science Center. Very interesting, right? Yeah, thank you. Doing comedy at the Liberty Science Center, it's a lot like inviting a clown to your law firm. You start off, you're like, this is kind of a weird fit, but then you're like, oh shit, this shit might actually work. Clowns and lawyers, very similar in that you either A, find them funny, or B, see them in your nightmares. My lawyer said I could do that joke. My clown hated it. Last weekend, I watched that stupid fucking Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. What a goddamn waste of time. I mean, honestly, if I wanted to watch a cocky 27-year-old disrespect his elders, I would have just gone visited my unemployed friend at his parents' house. Mom! Give me my dinner! That's not an impression of anybody. Yeah, Mike Tyson. I don't watch. It's not like I watch fighting that much. I think it was my first Mike Tyson fight. So I was watching, starting off. He looked okay at the beginning. He had some energy. He got a few punches in. But I think once Jake Paul won North Carolina, I think that thing. Am I confusing something? In light of recent events, Sorry, ladies. It's a man's world, apparently. I wish somebody would have told me that. I could have been a lot more successful. Yeah, I feel like we're in that part in the Barbie movie where all the Kens take over Barbie land. And just by me referencing the Barbie movie, you know I'm not manly enough to join the club. I'm gonna show you that. You guys probably know a few things about me. I'm a big basketball guy. I love basketball, you know that. I have a new favorite basketball player, Bronny James. Bronny James is my favorite basketball player. Totally an inspiration, totally someone to look up to. Bronny, plays with his dad on the Lakers, LeBron James. I don't know if you've ever heard of his dad. They say, Bronny says, my father has nothing to do with my success. Bronny says, my father has nothing to do with my success. And I'm just like, listen, man, even Jesus was like, yeah, it's my dad. And he's like the king of the Nepos, bro. He's like the king of the fucking Nepos. I'm not gonna tell anybody how to Nepo, but Jesus Christ. They say Bronny's better at Call of Duty than he is at basketball. But I've seen his shot. He does not have the aim for Call of Duty. Enough dunking on Bronny. We all know he's not dunking on anyone. So. Yes, I'm a big basketball guy. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. I think basketball is the best sport for people like me, people who have ADHD. It's fast-paced, people always moving, stuff happening all the time, ads everywhere. Any idea what the worst sport is for people who have ADHD? Anybody want to take a guess?
Baseball?
Golf.
Baseball's a good guess, but it is in fact golf. You've probably heard this joke before. Because I do it quite often. But yes, the worst sport for people with ADHD is golf. It's slow. It's boring. You can barely hear what the announcers are saying. They're not even interested. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration. All right. I got to get my grip right.
There's no winds up. 2 to 3 miles an hour. It's good. Thank you. Nobody's ever said, it's good at the end of a golf match. That's never happened before. That would be way too exciting. That would require way too much interest. My algorithms are absolutely fucked, guys. They're totally cooked. Facebook thinks I'm a lesbian. Instagram thinks I like watching videos of people dying, which, despite the little rush I get, not really. YouTube thinks I'm a Nazi, and TikTok wants to know when I'm starting my transition. The only platform that really seems to understand me, for me, is LinkedIn. LinkedIn gets me for exactly what I am. Entry level. By the way, if I'm still doing that joke in like 2 years, we got a big problem. A problem that either comedy can't solve or only comedy can solve. We'll see. We will ride this road together, especially because I know all of you. We will literally ride all of this fucking thing together. There might be like 2 people in the audience who I don't know, which, hi! How are you? If you're here, who knows? Y'all heard about ChatGPT? ChatGPT ChatGPT can reason and it can talk to you like a regular person, so it's already more useful than my mom. Yes, I think having the AI, let that one sit for a bit. I think the
the AI having the ability to reason is kind of a big deal, because I think if it can reason, then I think it can persuade, and I think if it can persuade, then instead of, killing us all, eliminating us all Terminator style, it will just give us a list of 20 well-thought-out bullet points as to why we should kill ourselves. You don't gotta waste an inch on that. No, that's fine. And honestly, this is basically finishing the job that social media started, except this time, it's not gonna be run by Elon Musk, so it might actually work. Okay. I'm really tired of hearing? I'm tired of hearing, last night was a movie, bro. Last night was a movie, bro. No, it fucking wasn't. What are you fucking talking about? Have you ever seen a movie? Most of them are terrible. There's some classics, some good movies, though. Anybody here like classic movies, classic musicals?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorites is The Sound of Music. I love The Sound of Music. It's a great movie, great classic musical, but I would argue that The Sound of Music would be even better without the Nazis. Because then it's just a movie about some guy who plows his nanny, which is a lot funnier and a lot more entertaining. Maybe we could take it that angle someday. Another thing that would have been better without the Nazis is Poland. My mouth is so dry, guys. I don't know. It's like the Sahara Desert in here. I swear to God. Oh my God. So I used to think my dog was racist. But then I realized he doesn't see color. Which is exactly what a racist would say. Shout out to a Helen Keller, by the way. I don't know if she's here tonight. She might be back in the audience. It's kind of dark. Helen Keller, in my book, Helen Keller, you got a consummate pro, an all-time great. You got the GOAT debate. You got LeBron, Jordan, Keller. Seriously, apparently Helen Keller, she was heckled during a speech. You believe that? Somebody really had the gall to do that. Helen, completely unfazed. That's like real professionals. That's like the kind of thing that I aspire to. Her and Barani, those are my favorites. You know what? I'm gonna give you guys one little more. Maybe some of you guys know this about me. Some people tell me that I'm a difficult person to buy gifts for. They tell me I'm a difficult person to buy gifts for. You believe that? Me, this humble guy up here, what's up? They tell me I'm a difficult person to buy gifts for, and I do have a solution for that. Buying me some better fucking gifts. How about that? I'm easy. No, seriously, I'm easy. I take Venmo. I take Cash App. I'll take Zelle scams. I'll take Gamer Girl bathwater. I'll take Apple Pay. I'll take Google Pay, Google Play, Michael Bublé, Charlie Day. I think those are the two men that I would have sex with. All right, hey, thank you very much. Thank you. Y'all know me. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting our comics again. And I guess Ro will come out one more time to say goodnight one more time. I made that call for Ro.
Ro didn't know if that was happening or not. I was truly standing on my tippy toes.
Hey, Ro!
Thank